Imagine staring up at the moon. The same glowing orb our ancestors worshipped, wrote myths about, and charted their calendars by, and realizing that half of it is a complete mystery. Not because we can't reach it, but because it's forever turned away, cloaked in perpetual secrecy. The dark side of the moon, a phrase that sparks both awe and fear, isn't actually dark, it's just hidden, permanently facing away from Earth. It has never been visible from the ground, not once in all of human history. But what lies there? Beyond the reach of our naked eyes and ancient telescopes, what secrets are frozen into its lifeless dust? Is it just more gray rock, or something far stranger? Some believe it holds the remains of alien visitors. Others whisper about hidden bases, Cold War relics, or ancient ruins that predate humanity. The truth? It's far more fascinating, and perhaps even more terrifying, than anything we've imagined. Buckle in, because we're about to journey to the far side of the moon, where science, mystery, and conspiracy collide in a cosmic enigma that might just change everything you think you know about space, and our place in it. To understand what's on the dark side of the moon, we have to begin with why it's hidden in the first place. This phenomenon, called tidal locking, is when a celestial body always shows the same face to its partner, in this case, the Earth. It's not some shadowy realm devoid of sunlight. The far side gets just as much light as the side we see. But because of gravitational forces between the Earth and the moon, that hidden hemisphere never rotates into our view. For centuries, it was pure speculation. Some imagined jagged mountains, others thought it might be covered in deep craters from cosmic impacts, untouched by the weathering forces of Earth. And then came 1959, when the Soviet spacecraft Luna 3 sent back the very first images of the lunar far side. What they found was, honestly, shocking. It wasn't like the side we knew. It had more craters, fewer of the dark basaltic plains called Maria, and an overall rugged, heavily bombarded appearance. This sparked more questions than answers. Why is it so different? What happened there that didn't happen here? One theory suggests that, billions of years ago, the moon may have had a twin. Not a romantic twin orbiting in perfect harmony, but a violent sibling destined for destruction. Some scientists believe that in the early days of the solar system, another smaller moon collided with what is now the far side of the moon, smashing into it and redistributing mass in a way that, well, permanently altered the landscape. This could explain the moon's two-faced personality. One side is smooth and relatively flat, while the other is battered and mountainous. But then we get into something even more curious. The South Pole Aitken Basin. It's actually the largest and oldest impact crater on the moon, stretching over 1,600 miles wide and 8 miles deep. It's located on the far side, and it's so massive that scientists believe it may have exposed the moon's mantle. In other words, it may be the closest we've ever gotten to looking inside the moon itself. And what's more, recent scans from China's Chang'e 4 mission found something bizarre beneath this crater. Anomalies in mass and material unlike anything we've seen before. Could it be metallic? Is it natural? Or, something else? That's where the conspiracies start to crawl out of the lunar dust. For decades there have been claims, some laughable, others honestly kind of chilling, that the dark side of the moon hides structures, artificial ones, the kind that don't belong to us. Photos taken from Apollo missions have been scrutinized, like frame by believers and skeptics alike, looking for signs of unnatural geometry, rows of cube-like shapes, angular shadows, even what appear to be spires or domes. NASA has never confirmed any of these, of course, but, silence is often fuel for speculation. Add to that a long-running rumor that during the Apollo 11 mission, when Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walked the moon, a secret communication occurred, an unbroadcast message picked up by radio hams. In it, they allegedly reported seeing other spacecraft observing them from the crater's edge. NASA's official transcripts make no mention of this. But to some, that's the point. Because if there was something or someone on the far side, would we really be told? Even more unsettling is the idea that the moon may have been used, or is still being used, as a kind of listening post. The far side of the moon is completely shielded from Earth's radio noise. That makes it the perfect location for installing sensitive instruments, like deep space antennas or even surveillance tech. Some theorists argue that if another intelligence wanted to observe Earth without detection, they wouldn't need to travel far. They just need to sit on the far side of the moon cloaked by silence watching us. It's not just fiction. The idea of placing a radio telescope on the far side of the moon is one NASA has seriously considered. Imagine a massive antenna array nestled into the South Pole Aitken Basin, listening not just to the cosmos, but to us. It's not built yet, but maybe, just maybe it already exists, just not by human hands. And then there's the ancient alien theory. You've heard it before. Our ancestors were helped, guided, or even created by beings from beyond. Some proponents of this theory believe that the far side of the moon holds remnants of these interactions, ancient ruins, energy weapons, even vehicles. They point to legends from across the globe, stories of sky gods, luminous objects in the heavens, and structures aligned to celestial bodies. If ancient astronauts left anything behind, the far side of the moon would be the perfect place to stash it. Unseen, untouched, waiting. But what if the moon isn't just a rock? What if it's artificial? I know it sounds absurd, until you look a little closer. The moon is an anomaly in many ways. It's just too large in relation to the Earth, and its orbit is unusually circular. Its density is suspiciously low, suggesting maybe a hollow structure beneath the crust. Back in the 1970s, during the Apollo seismic experiments, the moon actually rang like a bell when struck by a lunar module stage. Some interpreted this as evidence that the moon is at least partially hollow. Others went even further, suggesting it might be some kind of alien construct, a satellite, not a natural satellite. One built and placed there long ago. By whom? And for what purpose? That's where speculation honestly spins into the deepest rabbit holes of all. The idea that the moon is not just watching us, but controlling us, guiding evolution, steering civilizations, acting as a kind of cosmic lighthouse in the great dark sea of space. Still, the scientific side holds its ground. Missions like Chang'e 4, the first to land on the far side of the moon in 2019, are starting to peel back the layers. They've found traces of new materials, signs of complex interactions with solar radiation, and even hinted at resources like water ice trapped in shadowed craters. If humanity ever establishes a lunar base, and it's not a question of if, but when, the far side will be the crown jewel. Not just for exploration, but for communication, astronomy, and even mining. Yet we've only scratched the surface, literally. Most of the far side remains unexplored, with secrets buried beneath regolith billions of years old. Every rock, every crater, could tell a story about the birth of our solar system, or about something else. So what is really on the dark side of the moon? Craters, mountains, alien metal, hidden structures, a silent sentinel from the stars? The truth is, it might be all of the above, or none of it. But one thing is certain, it holds mysteries we've only begun to decipher. A place that could rewrite what we think we know about the universe, and perhaps even about ourselves. Every mission sent there brings us closer to answers, and to more questions. Because the far side of the moon is more than just a hidden hemisphere. It's a mirror to our own curiosity, reflecting everything we fear, and everything we hope to discover. And maybe, just maybe, the greatest discoveries are yet to come. Maybe we'll find ancient technology buried in the dust, long dormant but not dead. Maybe we'll realize we were never alone, that something or someone has been watching since long before we knew how to look. Or maybe we'll find nothing at all, and realize that the mystery itself was the point. You know, in seeking what's hidden, we unlock not the moon, but our own relentless need to explore. So, the next time you gaze up at that bright white circle in the sky, just remember this. Half of it is still a secret. Half of it is still calling to us. And somewhere on that dark, silent frontier, the answers are waiting. If you're ready for the truth, don't look where the light is. Look where it isn't. Because the dark side of the moon, that's where the real story begins. But perhaps the most haunting question of all is this: what if we're not the first to go looking? What if others, long before us, ventured to the moon, touched its hidden face, and left behind warnings we've yet to understand? Some researchers point to ancient petroglyphs and forgotten texts that mention celestial bodies split between faces, one known and one forbidden. These are dismissed by mainstream academia as metaphors or myth, but what if they're not? What if they are the fossilized memory of an encounter encoded in legend, hinting at a truth we've been too blind or too proud to see? A truth that something was found on the moon and covered up. Governments have a long history of secrecy when it comes to space. From the Cold War space race to the classified military satellites orbiting above us now, what we're told is only a fraction of what's actually happening. Some insiders have claimed, without hard proof of course, that missions have been sent to the far side with objectives that were never disclosed to the public. A few even go so far as to say that certain photos and telemetry data returned from these missions were immediately sealed, redirected to black budget programs, and scrubbed from public archives. If that's true, it begs the question, what are they hiding and who are they hiding it from? There's also an unnerving psychological layer to all of this. The far side of the moon represents more than just unexplored territory. It's a canvas for our collective imagination, a place where we project our deepest fears and wildest hopes. Is it any wonder that it's become the epicenter for so many conspiracies and theories? In a way, the far side acts like a cosmic Rorschach test. Scientists see geology, dreamers see aliens, strategists see opportunity. And somewhere in between, the truth may be quietly waiting, neutral, indifferent, yet profound. And yet, for all the speculation, there's one undeniable reality: we are going back. With NASA's Artemis program aiming to establish a sustained human presence on the moon, and private companies like SpaceX looking to commercialize lunar travel, we are entering a new age of exploration. An era where the mysteries of the far side will no longer be confined to radar scans and grainy images. We will walk there, we will dig, we will listen, we will build. And when we do, the line between science fiction and science fact will blur like never before. Think about what that first moment will be like. when a human foot presses into lunar dust that has never before been touched, when a drone dips into the shadow of an ancient crater, scanning for signs of water, or, something else entirely, when a sensor suddenly picks up a signal, faint, pulsing, unexplainable. That's not just the future of space exploration, that's the future of human identity, because the moon isn't just a destination, it's a question. And every mission is an attempt to answer it. So what is on the dark side of the moon? The scientific community may tell you it's just rocks and radiation, craters and dust. And maybe they're right. But maybe, just maybe, it's something more. A gateway to lost history, a celestial archive, a whisper in the void, waiting for someone to finally listen. And when that moment comes, when the silence is broken and the truth is finally illuminated, it may not be the moon that changes, it may be us. Until then, the far side remains a question mark etched into the sky, a place of paradox, hidden yet visible from every corner of the earth in its pull on tides, in its inspiration of dreams. We may never fully know what lies in that cold, shadowed realm. But we do know one thing, it's not just part of the moon that's hidden, it's a part of ourselves. And maybe that's the most important discovery waiting out there in the dark. So keep looking up, because sometimes it's the places we can't see, the ones veiled in shadow, shrouded in silence, that hold the answers we've been searching for